And we are live. Hello, everybody. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Anybody? Anybody?
Good morning.
Anybody? Anybody? I think there's two people here.
Okay.
Successful this morning. Can you guys hear us at all? Well, I'm here, but I want to know if you guys could see or hear us. Sound is good.
Okay, good.
Okay. Okay. Why are people asking where I am? Right here. So, Rebecca, we were talking about your moves going a little bit harder. I had a rough week, but we made it to Monday.
Right.
And you're going to leave it at that.
Well, yeah, like I said, I had a little bit of a medical, I wouldn't call it an emergency. I dealt with it at home. I figured it out, but so I was kind of out of it, and I feel much better now and ready to move forward. But with my move, it's just there needs to be some work done, and it's been delayed due to weather, and I know that's nobody's fault, but when do you say when? I mean,
yeah, but there has been like torrential rain. It's been bad rain here. I know, because I don't have my electric hooked up right to the trailer, and so I don't have that hooked up correctly, but I got a solar, and I didn't know I had a little solar thing. So I was able to like turn on lights and stuff. I can't turn on air, and you got to have air. It's just to not have air. So I'm hoping to get it on tomorrow. But the guy that is helping me, unfortunately, his dog died. So that's hard. That's hard. As my guys are going crazy. You hear these guys?
Yeah.
It's Danny. Tell me my dog doesn't have a set of lungs on her.
Oh, wow.
She's trying to get Milo to play with her.
I've never heard them make that much noise.
Yeah, they never do. But he's trying to get him to play. So let me try to give them something.
Okay.
We can't do anything like that.
No.
Want something? You do? Okay. Okay. Everybody heard that Danny barks. Danny's got a deep voice. You got a deep voice. Look what I got. Oh, I got something really good for you. Look. Look what I got. You ready? You ready? I see tails wagging. Oh my goodness. That's a Danny. And here's a Milo. Oh, you're so excited, mister. There you go. There you go. All right, Milo. Danny took your spot. Hang on, I'll be right there. Rebecca, you gonna talk to everybody?
Yeah, I know. I'm zoned down here. So, is anybody joining us this morning to discuss rock bottom or any other topic?
Accountability, rock bottom. It's rock bottom, accountability.
I know. I think we said last week that everybody's rock bottom is different, and that's true. But I would love to hear what somebody's rock bottom is to compare it to somebody else's. I'm interested to see what it is for each person.
Yeah, because some things could be financial and some things could be not financial.
Right.
My brain's not working right either. Hi, Jessica. How you doing? Has anybody got anything to say on the topic of what that looks like for anybody? Has anybody got anything they want to share? Camp D, I don't know. I mean, are you able to read the chat? There's not a lot going on, to be honest.
Yeah, I could see it today.
Yeah, let me just turn that because I'm dying of heat.
If anybody wants to come on and share their story, we're always open to inviting you on to talk. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to, your real name, whatever, however you want to do it. But we'd love to hear from some of you. I I don't have my personal story to share, only that of my son. And, I don't know what his rock bottom was. I couldn't give you an exact. I just know that he got to the point where he said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know what made him get to that point. He used to say he was tired, meaning
it's exhausting being a drug addict. It's exhausting being a drug addict. It is a full-time job. It's a full-time job being addicted. It is. You got to always work on where you're getting, where you're getting your drugs from. You can't go on vacation. You can't plan things. It owns you.
Yeah.
It's not even a 9-to-5 job. It's a job that owns you. And then if you don't, for some reason, if you aren't able to first of all, now getting your medication on the street is worse than playing Russian roulette.
Oh yeah, definitely now. Definitely.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, if you got people that can't get their medication and they're not going to go to the street, then you got a bunch of people that are, going to go through these horrible withdrawals.
Yeah.
That, I understand there's consequences when people mess up and such, but if you're truly trying to get sober, it should be a little bit easier, in my opinion. And I mean, after several times, maybe you've hit rock bottom, where it's, but it's just, it's almost impossible even for, people to get their hands on the drugs that keep them sober. You know what I'm saying? Like the methadone or the Suboxone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's they don't make it easy, and that should change. And I know some people are going to say, well, why should that be made available when insulin's not? And and I get the argument. I get it, but in my opinion, anybody who needs a medication should be able to get it. It should be available. That's my answer to that. I think all medications should be available to everyone who needs it. But, it's not how it is. I don't know if anybody here or you, Toddie, are you familiar with, in Philadelphia, there's an area called Kensington, and it's a very well-known drug area. And you can walk down a street and you're knee deep in people knotted off from dope, and there's needles everywhere. And some of these people, are they dead? Are they alive? And this is the world we live in, and the police see it. And I don't want to say they don't do anything about it, but I guess they can't. But it's so sad to walk around and see these people. There's somebody's son, daughter, mother, father, sister, and they're just laying out in the street, high, knotted out. And it's hard to believe that this is the world we live in.
Yeah, because it's not just in Pennsylvania.
It's everywhere. I know.
Yeah, it's going on everywhere. Yeah, I saw it on YouTube too. I think I saw it on. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they've seen it online. I think I saw it by that guy, Peter, or that other guy. What's his name? The young guy with the dark hair.
I don't know.
My friend has cancer and she cannot get a prescription stronger than Tylenol 3.
Wow.
Her dog had a better prescription than that, Edie said.
Oh.
I believe it. It's happening in Tennessee too.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's all over. It's just really bad in Kensington and spots in Newark. And I only know that from physically being there. I've seen it. Yep. Not just on TV. And
well, I don't know what's going to be of that, because I can't imagine this president, he'll ship them all out to an island.
Like that's going to fix everything, right?
Basically we should live in a world like Buddha, where we only see the good instead of trying to help.
Yeah. We need to make the good, make it happen and help everybody. They're humans. They're somebody's child.
And people usually go into that because people go into it sometimes animals are better than human beings though. I'm reading in the comments.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I put up a comment where somebody said that their brothers, they were their brother's rock bottom. And that, kind of like the same thing you said, that when you gave up on Gino, he got it together.
Mm-hmm.
She said that her brother got it together after she gave up on him.
Yeah. And that's the hard thing to do, to walk away from somebody. I didn't walk away from him. I was there if he called me.
Right.
But I wasn't sending money. I wasn't bailing him out of situations.
Right.
He
You're letting him get grown up.
Yeah, he finally, he rented a townhouse and shared it with some other guys. He got this great job holding the keys to the hospital. He was a maintenance man. He was trusted. And he saw what life should be for him. And, he did it because he wanted to do it. He wanted to give that up, and he got his opportunity, and he did it. And he did it by himself. Nobody holding his hand. We kind of had to let go. And, then of course something happens and you relapse and you end your life or lose your life. But, it's not the case for everybody. Some people recover. A lot of it, they do recover. And, the end isn't always my ending or Gino's ending. There are, good stories, happy stories. Drug addicts recover. They can be better. They can do better.
Well, it's funny because I don't know if you know this, but at the end of the meetings, they say we do recover.
Right.
That's a slogan,
Yeah.
Did you see the note? If my family would have succeeded in getting me help through the police 30 years ago, it would have ruined my life and not allow her to get a job that she has now.
Oh.
So clearly, I don't know. I think that you might not have had that job, but maybe you would have had something else. I think life kind of works itself out the way it's supposed to. I think so. I don't know. I think so.
Yep.
So I got a chicken through this lady. My chicken's name is Flash. I really did pick a chicken out through this lady. This lady, she has chickens. And she said, I let content creators pick out the chickens.
Oh, wow.
So she said,
told you when I move, I'm considering getting chickens, but we're still debating who's going to clean up the chicken poop. We don't know how that's going to work out yet. So
I understand that. They sell them at Tractor Supply, little chickadoodles.
I know.
I'm thinking about getting them because I'm going to have a little yard and they eat fleas and ticks and stuff.
Yes. I know. I'm really considering it. It's just I don't want to have a stinky chicken coop, so I want to make sure I'm prepared for, do you have to rake it out every minute, every day? I don't know.
Well, I live next to two neighbors now that have chickadoodles. And I just got the eggs, man. I remember going in to one of my neighbors because they said, please, can you get the eggs? Keep them, get them. They were on vacation. I didn't have to clean anything out. I didn't have to clean out poop. I go outside and poop, I thought. Does anybody know? That's the question.
You know what? I'd love to know that because I
really don't know.
I don't know where they poop.
But I went to my trailer and I was excited because as much rain as we had, no leaks. And there shouldn't be leaks, but I've been watching stuff online. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching stuff online and people have had these horrible stories, these horror stories.
Yeah. Have you stayed there yet or you haven't stayed in your trailer yet?
No, I haven't stayed there because I don't have there's a few things I don't have there. My dogs aren't there yet. And and I haven't really packed, Rebecca. I suck. I wasn't, yeah, I worked last night, and I usually don't work on Sunday nights, but I needed to work. I'm glad I worked because I'm paying 2 rents this month, to be honest with you. And
Yeah.
I'm letting out a lot of money, and I want to get, at least one other piece of furniture for there. And I think I have to get another bed for the size that I want. And, I just got to be careful with money this month because like next month I'll get my deposit back from here.
Right.
And everything will be much cheaper and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm paying for the electrician. I'm paying for the rocks to have the pad down to put the trailer, and I paid for the trailer and all. But yeah, I just don't want it to be a huge deal for Danny. Like I know Milo, he'll just be like, okay, like
right.
But and I think that Danny will like it, especially because we'll have a yard and stuff where it'll be all right. But it's just a matter of getting everything there and the stuff and getting rid of the stuff that I don't want or that I really can't have.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but I'm hoping that once I'm there for a few years at least, Well, Rebecca put out flyers for free manure. Oh, that's great. Thanks for that.
Oh, wow. People actually want that?
Well, there's good cash around Tennessee. If you want to go there, she's from Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
But, I bet you that, hey, listen, they needed a lot in North Korea. I'm not trying to make a joke, but they do need a lot. Tony Nicole says she's got chickadoodles.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a popular thing, to have chickens. I think my problem would be when it's cold at night, I'd want to bring them into my room and let them sleep in the bed with me because I wouldn't want to leave them outside. And I don't know how.
Well, you gotta have like a chicken. You gotta have a chicken. You gotta have a hutch or something. They have to go inside of their thing.
But do they have heat in there? I mean, I don't know how that all works.
Well, when they're chickies, they need heat. But when they're full, you could get full-grown chickens, I think. Yeah. And I think that they don't need chicken coop with a lamp. We got people here ready to tell us. Brandy Lynn.
Oh, okay. So the lamp provides heat then? Is that?
Yeah, like yeah, but do the full-grown chickens need them? Chicken lady, where do they sleep in the winter? People offer to buy my chicken poop. Look. That's a business. What do you do for a living, lady? I sell chicken poop.
Wow. See, I don't know this stuff. I'm glad we talked about it.
They don't need heat. They don't need heat when it's full grown, when they're full grown.
Wow. Okay.
So
the feathers keep them warm.
Oh, your friend's an honest person. They have feathers. Ruth. We know they have feathers. Just in case you didn't know, they have feathers.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, I kind of figured they did, but I didn't know that would keep them warm if it's 20 degrees out.
Well, if there's chickens, God made them. Right?
Yeah.
So, and
well, I also told you I was thinking of getting one of those little micro pigs. They're tiny. They don't get big, but I would definitely keep him in the house.
That's a pet. That's a pet.
He would be, he'd run around with my little toy poodle. They would be friends.
Right.
But not sure if we're allowed to have those here yet. So I have to look into that. But I'm not even in the house yet. And I have all these animals that I'm planning to have. But I'm excited. It's going to be an exciting thing.
I think that's great. When they ruffle their feathers, they're trapping heat in.
Oh.
Micro pigs get big.
Why are they called micro then? Doesn't that mean small?
Yeah, but apparently she said the micro pig gets big.
Oh, no, I don't want that then. I couldn't have a big pig running around. You need to
ask before you do this shit.
Yeah,
I don't know what this channel's about today. I don't know, guys.
I know. Do you know that I feel bad?
Name your weirdest pet. They're smaller than others. But you know what she's talking about? One of the mini pigs, the ones that are like this big.
Yeah, I thought they don't get big.
Well, maybe the micro does, but maybe the others don't. Listen, I got a miniature boxer, and he weighs more than my full-grown boxer.
Really? Wow.
He's an old man. We let him get away with it now.
Wow. Yeah, we should apologize to those that think they're coming here to talk about addiction, because we end up talking about farm animals and everything else. But we're here to talk, though, if anybody ever needs to talk.
Yeah, you guys, listen, those of you who saw me last night, I had a rough night. And it had nothing to do with drugs. Just had to do with people and disappointment of people, and that's hard.
And we know that a rough night for us can be multiplied by 10 for someone suffering from
absolutely
substance abuse. Definitely. Absolutely. I mean, it's a lot more intense for them than us in most cases. So we get that. We understand that.
Yeah. So please don't think that this stuff is anything like, well, yeah, this isn't. This because you guys aren't talking and not saying anything about it. Does anybody want to come on and talk about anything? You can talk about farm animals, but you can't talk about anything weird with them. And they're saying that these micro pigs get to be 100 pounds. That's not what you want.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So you just want a piglet, and then when it becomes a pig, you want to give it to somebody else.
Then I would be afraid of it, like a little one that I could squish and snuggle.
You wouldn't be afraid of it, because they would grow up to be your pet.
Well, I mean, if it would still be nice and not aggressive, I guess I wouldn't mind having it.
Yeah, no, I think they would be like dogs. They only stay small with severe food restrictions. Yeah, but she's not trying to make them miserable. She just wants a little pet.
Yeah. Oh.
Well,
maybe you don't. I don't know.
That just made my day. Thank you. That made my day. I got here late, but kind of like the combo. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I know, Patchouli Julie, it was a rough night. But I bring people in recovery to help out here. That's really cool. Read that. Can you read that, Rebecca? You don't have to read it out loud. I just don't know if you've got your glasses on, lady.
I have contacts in today.
Okay, well, aren't we special?
Well, I couldn't see with my glasses the other night. They failed me, so I wasn't going to take any chances today. But
listen, before I forget, Renelle Smith is not in the comments. Renelle Smith was the woman that sent you the computer.
Yes.
She saw the last time, and I forgot to send this to you. She saw the last time that you were calling from your car. And remember, you said, I don't have a phone holder. Well, she got you a phone holder.
Oh, my God.
She got you a phone holder. I don't know if I'm supposed to give her the address or if she's mailing it to you. I don't know if I have to give her the address.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my gosh.
Really nice of her. I forgot to tell you about that. I just thought she, so nice. She's such a great person. Pringle, welcome to the channel. She is such a she's got class.
Yeah.
She just has class. And
wow.
She reached out to me last night after seeing, what went on and stuff. And she was just like, I just want you to know I appreciate you. And that meant the world to me. Perfect that when everything had just calmed down and I was just at work and I was just in my head and I get this message that just says, I want you to know I appreciate you. And that just touched me. I was like, I couldn't have came at a better time,
Right.
It makes me cry.
Yeah. It could just be a few kind words and.
Yep. No, it was a rough night because, I don't want it to be about anybody in particular, but I want you guys to know I gave my dogs these like knuckle bones or something. They're just and it's like they haven't even made a dent in them yet. Good toy, good, not toy, but good thing for them to mess with when I'm on the computer, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, you know, and I say it all the time that I wouldn't co-sign a friend's bad behavior. I can't co-sign a friend's bad behavior. Well, I wasn't, but I was finding grace with them in hopes that they would realize what they did was incorrect and that they would, do the right thing by it. And unfortunately they didn't. Thank you. It's just a little alien. And so yeah, so that ended up being like yeah, it made me look bad, to be honest with you. Nothing's worse than defending somebody and not knowing the full story.
Right.
And then finding out the full story was something you should never defend. So that was shitty. That was shitty. Yeah. So and that's exhausting, when you try to be there to help people, and then it's I think it's even more exhausting when all the air gets sucked out of you after everything, and it's like, man, do I feel just stupid now? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what else is going on. What else is going on? That's all right, Chrissy. You can. I put up some videos, and I don't think Morbid's live was. There was a misunderstanding that happened, I think, in all fairness, between me and another content creator. And unfortunately, and I'm not blaming anybody, but I was preoccupied with the other thing that I was just talking about. So I kind of was halfway paying attention to the other thing. And obviously I should have been paying more attention to the other thing because I read that one wrong. I read them both wrong, but one was totally by accident. And one, I'm not sure if it was, if it was meant to or not. I just, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that. Thank you for gifting a membership. That was very kind of you. Whoever got the membership, Pringles gave it to you. So, guys, does anybody want to jump on and say anything? Does anybody want to talk on the channel? Up there we are. The chicken lady got it.
That's great.
Yeah, I think Skippity Doodah and I had a misunderstanding, in all honesty. That's what I think. I really do think that's what happened between her and me.
It happens. I mean, if you recall, the last time you and Jay had me on, and that one person said something maybe I misunderstood, and I went ape shit on her, and then
you didn't go ape shit on her.
I did get a little upset, and then I think we are fine now, but it was like I just read it wrong. Maybe she didn't mean it to sound the way
she didn't. Yeah, right. She didn't. You're right. Well, she did. This woman did. I got doxxed. First, last, and middle name. But that's okay. And I gave it out last night because anybody could have done a reverse Google search. I mean, I'm not going to be afraid to be. I mean, I'm not going to live like that. There's nothing that anybody could find on me that I would be ashamed to say. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't have any great big secret in my past or anything like that. But, well, I got to say, I doxed them first. So I doxed them first, and then I got tricked into honestly doxing them. I only doxed their first name, and then I got tricked into doxing them. But that was me that got tricked into it. I didn't have to do that. I could have handled it better. And in the future, I am handling it better. I got this channel, and this is important. I mean, you know, I guess because I did the stuff, the clemency letters for Nicholas, right?
Right.
People have come to me when people have been doxxed or horrible things have happened to some of these people from other content creators online. And, I have a trigger for injustice. So I said, well, I started doing investigations and finding out who these people are, reaching out to people I know and reaching out to other people and, getting cases together so that, things could be done to people that shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I really think that I read something wrong. And then, you get people that add to it. I'm not saying anybody in our thing did, but yeah, so it could be quite the shit show.
Yeah.
So it could be quite that, but that's why there's a new day every day, right? Like, be better today. Exactly. Ruth Carroll.
Yeah. Somebody said that once, I believe. Right?
Yeah, I don't know about that person that says that. They should probably listen to what they're saying. I don't know that they listen half the time to what they say. I mean,
somebody on
here, have a good day.
Toddie, somebody wants to come on, but they said they need like 5 to 10 minutes and they don't want their face shown.
So you are the one that would have to not show your face. So I mean, you would be the one that would shut your camera down.
You just hit the stop cam option.
Yeah, you hit the stop camera, kind of like I just did.
Yeah.
So it's right there, and I can get a link. I can get the link.
Yep, it's to Glamum's backup. Do you see that in there?
That's here, right here. Yep, that's fine. That's cool. I'll go ahead and put the link up. Hang on. What?
Just while we're just talking about everything, I just want to say that I almost made a bad decision yesterday. I probably would have regretted for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I went shopping with my son. We were in Macy's and they were having a sale. And it was a 50% off sale. And I need new dishes because mine are all mixed match stuff I've had for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with this set of dishes. And I said, these will be the dishes we use on special occasions. They were really pretty.
Right.
So I said to my son, go up and scan them to see how much they are. Come to find out, this set of dishes was originally priced at over $1,100.
Wow.
And it came up as $540. And I said, oh, that's okay, because with all my rewards, I bet you I'm going to get them for a lot less. Let's go up to the register. So my son's lugging this heavy ass box around,
Right.
We get up there and not another penny comes off. And I said, nope, I can't do it. Do I want them? The lady's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm talking to myself. Should I? I don't know. And my son's like, Mom, this shit's heavy. Like, so I said, no, I can't do it. And I didn't do it. So now I feel better, but I wanted them so bad. But I would have, I can't afford them. I had no business being in there. But I thought I was going to find this great deal. And I guess to somebody it might be, but I put them back and didn't get them.
That's too bad, though.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Maybe in a week there'll be less, if they're still hanging around, because the box is too damn heavy for anybody to pick up. So I doubt anybody's going to get them. I'm going to check back in about a week, see where they're at.
You know what? So here's what I found out. So I used to be that way too. I'm trying to just get the thing for this lady. I just snorted in the phone. Sorry about that. Hang on. I told you the story about me buying my guitar. I bought a guitar and I gave myself a certain budget. Did I tell you this story?
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you this? And then I ended up finding a guitar. The guitar that I really wanted ended up being like $200 more than I gave myself my budget for. And I said to myself, it was the first time I ever did this, because usually I would have settled for the other thing, right?
Right.
And so I went ahead and I spent the $700 on the guitar that I wanted.
Right.
And I never regretted it. I would have regretted spending $500 on a guitar I didn't want.
Right. You know, with the dishes, though, the house needs a fence, and the fence is more important than a set of dishes.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah,
Money can go towards. And
yep.
I got home and I was telling my two daughters about it, and Brianna was my voice of reason. Well, actually, she was like, "What the fuck?" She said, "You know, you could spend that on so many other." Like, she was like the mom. You know, right. And I said, chill out. I didn't get them. They're not here, or they didn't bring them home. I said, I touched them a little bit, walked around with them. You know, I said, I didn't get them. But, you know, they're right, though, that money could be spent on something more important around the house. And the fence is very important to me. So I know that a fence is going to be a lot more than $500, but that can go towards it. So I didn't get the dishes, but I'm still thinking about them.
There you go. You know? Well, we have somebody that wants to get on.
Okay. So we're going to get on topic now.
I don't know.
Good morning, ladies.
How you doing? Crafted evidence. This is
good. Rebecca, I'm laughing because I'm the same way. But you know what? Sometimes we do need to spend some money on ourselves.
I know. I agree. But I just thought not that much. I wasn't ready.
Right. But I know that feeling when you walk away from something, you're like, I don't really need this, but I want it, and it's on sale, and that's how they get us.
Right, yeah.
And it's not even really on sale. They just mark it like it was on sale.
Right, and I thought
trickery, it is.
I just thought it was going to go down a lot less at the register, you know, with your rewards and your points and this and that. And when it didn't budge, I was like, oh, no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it. I have to say I'm still thinking about them, but
what is so great about those dishes?
They just brought me a little joy. I thought, how nice it would be to sit around the table at Thanksgiving and Christmas with these pretty dishes. It would just bring me joy. And you know
Are they dishes you could use? Are they dishes you could use every day or just special?
And that's what my daughter said.
Okay.
My daughter said, Mom, you're going to pay that much for dishes and only use them on holidays. You have to use them paying that much for them. You know, she was like, that's crazy. So she's right. And I didn't get them, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to think about them from time to time.
Right.
But
so we have Glamis backup as well. So this is Glamis backup and this crafted evidence and Rebecca Michello and Lisa Holden right here.
All right.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
How you doing?
I'm good. I just got a puppy running around playing, so I excuse any background noise.
That's okay. Puppies are allowed.
Good.
Puppies are.
Will you tell me when you want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell us. I mean, is that all right? Crafted. Did you have a story you wanted to share?
No, I just, wanted to jump on and show you ladies some support. I saw your post a couple minutes ago, Toddie, and I love that, you can own up to things when, we're all not perfect. Sometimes we read things and we read it wrong. And I just love you for that. That's why I love your channel. You're just like, you know what? I read this wrong.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're a genuine person, and I think that's why you have so many people who keep coming back to your channel. So,
well, that's good. That's the only thing I can be. I can only be me and genuine. So,
right.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not comfortable, but I don't think everybody feels comfortable all the time.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It means a lot. You're welcome to stay on. I think Glamis wants to share something. Somebody's got like a YouTube in the background or something.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
Okay. Glamis, did you want to?
Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm a little bit different in that I don't have a daily drug requirement that would force me to go illegally or anything like that. So it's chronic pain, and I did my foot. I just twisted my ankle as a real estate agent, twisted my ankle putting out an open for inspection sign. And it hurt, but I was okay. And being a single mum, you keep going.
Right.
So I kept going for about 6 weeks, and it still wasn't getting any better. So I went to the doctor, and I was admitted that day. So the bone had died. I had fractured my ankle and cut off the blood supply. But
Ooh.
apparently the blood supply would have been cut off immediately anyway, because I thought, great, it cut off because I left it so long. But no, anyway. So that just started a series of surgeries, and I've probably had about 12 now.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
And so they're like 6 ankle fusions, like complete fusions, and then they don't fuse. So they have to wait a year, and then they go in and they clean break your ankle again, and they refuse it.
Ugh.
And then it's just, yeah. So I've had 6. I need another one. I'm not jumping to it. And in the interim, it's hurt my back. Like I've had 1 back surgery. I need to have another one just because of the constant limping. It throws you out.
It does.
So
It kind of screws up your whole alignment.
yeah. So I had to, like, I had a legal background. And then when I became a single mum, I went into real estate because the hours are better. But I had to recreate myself completely because I was told you'll never work in an office again. You're a liability. And just in terms of my daily pain, I couldn't go to work anyway. I know that. So that's why I started reviewing makeup products like that I bought myself on sites, and it just grew from there. But it's a process. And, I think it's lonely when you've got chronic pain. Like I don't see anyone for weeks. I go to the doctor once a month, but I don't go out any other time because I don't need to. And it's so painful to go out. So it's just easier to stay home. But I don't know, I guess you go on automatic pilot, and I'm trying like everyone is to develop their businesses and do what they need to do. But it's difficult, and difficult to get the motivation. And I haven't really cried or laughed for, my God, over a year. I'm just completely numb. So I don't know if that's rock bottom or if that's just, where you're at. But yeah, I can't help but sort of wonder.
Well,
My ex-husband was abusive in every way you can imagine. Like he used to knock me out, and he had my mother convinced I was epileptic because he'd say I had a fit. But before I got divorced, I'd had 2 ectopics and lost 2 plets. So I've had so much go on, and years I don't remember them. They're just a blur. So that's where I'm at.
I feel you with the chronic pain. I've had to take pain medication for 6 years now because I have MS, and then they discovered I had breast cancer 2 years later. So,
Oh gosh.
girl, like the chemotherapy damages everything in your body. So, I get to a point, where it's hard to give myself grace some days. And I'm like, okay, you didn't ask for this. It's okay to, like you just said, sometimes you just got to have a day where you like cry and let it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
but too many of those days strung together is a recipe for depression, and that's something you got to
Oh,
really.
I agree, Toddie, because, I went to Michigan last week, and one of the days I just I put the kids at camp and I rested all day. And I said to myself, God, you can really fall into this depression of not going out and not talking to people. And although it feels good, when you fall into that, it's hard to get out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm in at the moment. I've been diagnosed with depression. I'm on antidepressants, but that's where I'm at. It's easier to stay home then make the effort and go out, and you get in that rut that you just can't get out of.
Yeah, and it physically hurts too. So it's not like
Yeah,
it's just mental, it's physical pain as well.
that's it. I know if I go out the following day, I won't be able to get out of bed. So it's got to be worth it, you know, or essential. Like I go to my GP to get my medication. But, you know, it's got to be worth my while, really worth it. Doesn't that sound awful?
Have you gone into physical therapy? It took me about 4 months to convince myself to go, because my walking was really bad. And like, you know, when you damage one part of your body, everything else starts, you know, like I said, coming out of alignment. And then you're in pain in areas you weren't before. But when I did the physical therapy, I really noticed it helped me just even get out of the house.
I had a bath, like, well, not a bath. I had like a full-on spa. And that sounds silly, but the jet streams and the heat was so effective for me, unbelievably. And unfortunately, it got stolen. But I've maybe seen about 15 specialists other than my own. And they won't prescribe any exercise because my foot has no flex in it. And when you're talking about a broken bone, they fuse it, like they glue it so it can't move. So they don't really want you to do anything. And I used to love to run, but I mean, there's no way I can do that. But so
Is there anything you can do virtually? Is there any of these virtual games that you could do that is challenging for the brain, for the mind?
Yeah, I should probably look into those things.
Yeah, they said that also helps with pain as well, because they put me on this, like, they put these glasses on me and it was like a virtual reality where you're like punching balloons and you're sitting in a chair, but you're like physically active. And the doctor was saying, like, you taking yourself into a peaceful place can also help with that chronic pain. And at first I was like, I don't know, but it's really amazing what it can do.
I'll give it a go, because when I first hurt my foot and the pain specialist said, you know, stress makes it worse, I didn't believe him.
Stress is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how dangerous stress is. I would never underestimate stress.
Me either. It took about a year, and then I realized, holy shit. Yeah, it's bad.
Stress brought on my Lyme disease.
Oh, that's awful.
So I know how bad stress can be. It's like it makes your immune system just really weak. It's like a guard, more or less, for your immune system. I would have never known that. I figured if you couldn't see it, it couldn't hurt you. Yeah, that's a lie.
It also blocks some of the opioids from working if you're on painkillers. So it's self-defeating.
Yeah, that makes sense. How long have you had Lyme disease diagnosis, Toddie?
I was diagnosed in 2021, in December of 2021.
And there's like no cure for that, right?
Yeah, so it goes into remission, and I just have to like pay attention. And I pay attention like crazy this time of year about it. Yeah. But I also, pay attention to when I'm tired. I don't fight that shit anymore. It's like I listen to my body a lot more than I ever did.
I've noticed I've had to take like breaks too from like covering true crime, because I'm sure it gets like stressful with some of the drama and stuff, and sometimes I have to tell myself like, whoa, I don't need this negative energy, and I have to take a step back.
Yeah.
Because as much as I think I might be doing good, it's not good for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that I'm reading the comments. You have to take mental health days sometimes. And also, a lot of people don't realize it, but even just sitting outside and having the fresh air makes a lot of difference. Even with the like wind blowing through your hair, you know what I'm saying? Like it makes a difference. It really does make a difference when you're outside.
Definitely.
It does. Yeah, it definitely does. But I don't know. I'm probably doesn't matter, but I'm really worried about the amount of medication I take.
Well, I mean,
Really
don't assume it doesn't matter. You should probably talk to your doctor about it if you're concerned, or look it up online and see. I mean, if there's something going on.
I don't think there's anything going on. I'm just worried about the day when I have to come off it. I mean, I guess that would be a good day because it would mean my foot is fixed. So
Yeah.
look at it like that, I guess.
Come on back on crafted evidence because you're still here. Okay, so she got kicked off by her phone. Her phone must have rang.
I just wanted to share my experience with medications. I was never on pain medication for my back injury, but I was on more medications for my mental health situation. I was on 8 different medications for that. And I got to the point where I didn't know if I was coming and going. What pill did I take? Did I take this one yet? Should I take this one? And I thought I had this system. Well, if I took the pill already, I'll turn the bottle upside down so I know I took it. And then I would get screwed up with that. And I finally had to call the doctor and say, listen, I don't want to be on 8 medications. Can we get it down to 2 or 3? Which we did. And I know it has nothing to do with your pain medications or whatever you're taking, but it was just my choice. I didn't want to be on 8 medications. So I had to work with the doctor and we had to do it the right way. But then I did end up not taking 8 medications anymore, but I couldn't just quit myself, obviously.
Mm.
But I know it's a different situation, but
No, because I've sometimes questioned myself, like, have I changed my patch today, or did I take that or did I not? Like, it does happen. It definitely does happen.
Let me tell you something. Like, you got to be really careful with that because I know that once I took I double dosed on my medication. I went to work and I was like sleeping, and my job does not pay me to sleep. But like seriously, by accident, I took the medication. So I used to do the same thing. I'd flip, for this. I just started, I take out how many I'm supposed to take a day, and that's what I take out. And if I have some left over, that's great. You know what I mean? If I didn't need any, that was great too. But I know how many's there by how many I didn't take. And when it comes to like my dogs, my dogs are on medication every day. They're on medication. And sometimes I'm like, holy shit, did I give them their medication? So like I always write down, because they just take theirs once a day. I always write down on the bottle the day that they take their first dose. So that if I have to count, because I don't want to give Danny more of her medication. Milo can't take more of his medication. So, but yeah, when you're somebody who takes chronic pain, who's in chronic pain and takes pain medication, you should really be very careful and just take out your maximum for the day and put them somewhere. And that's where you know how many you've taken a day.
Yeah, I work off a card. I take one card out of the box at a time.
There you go.
I have a system. So yeah, but how do you get out? Can you drive on the medication?
Yeah,
we
so
can't here.
No, I could drive on the medication, but the thing is that that's why I don't want people switching up my medication and such, because I can drive on my medication. And Milo, yours is right here, buddy. I can drive on the medication, and I can work on the medication. I've been the guinea pig that has been on several, and yeah, so about 30 years ago, I got on this medication, and yeah, I'm functional on it. I know what I'm doing. I don't get that high feeling. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that feeling.
No. Toddie, I see that you put a comment up from Lori. She said, for her, the worst part of depression is knowing what will help, but not willing or able to do it.
Yeah.
Lori, explain that to me. What do you mean by that? Maybe I'm a little slow this morning, so I'm not quite understanding.
I think I understood, but go ahead.
I get it.
Lori, if you want to type in the chat, or if you want to come on, I mean, you can come on and cover your face. You don't have to come on. Nice dog. I like it. That's not for
I
you
mean,
guys.
I guess I'm just wondering, like if she knows what would help to help her improve, but she's not willing or able to do it.
I think she was talking. I took it as she was talking about like the energy or the motivation to even be able to do it.
Right, maybe
That's what I took it. Yeah, like the mind is willing, but the body is not.
Yeah, I get that. I went through that, and that's why I was on all those medications to get me out of that funk. And then I get that. If that's how she means it, I totally understand that.
I'm just going to fill up my beverage with my San Pellegrino. Excuse me.
Okay.
Because that's how I feel, definitely. The pain aside, it affects you, definitely affects you
Right.
mentally.
Yeah.
Even things like having a bath or a shower. I mean, if we want to get really personal, that's an effort. That's an effort. It used to be something you just get out of bed in the morning and jump in the shower.
But now it's like work.
Now it's an effort. Vacuuming the house with the cordless vacuum. Yeah, that should be really easy.
I totally understand that. It's you have to really talk yourself into getting up and taking and grooming yourself when you're in physical pain and you're dealing with depression and anxiety and all that other stuff. It's debilitating. Depression.
Yeah, I've got a function on in August and I'm already stressed because I don't want to go. And I'm trying to talk myself into it. And that's everything is a negotiation.
Yeah.
Within, That's I don't know if that's how
tough, though. That's tough. You shouldn't be ruining 2 months of your life stressed over something that can happen in August, though. That's not good.
I know. Well, I know this is it. This is the problem. Well, it's one of many problems. But yeah, I'm worried about it, which is really silly because it's my daughter's wedding. I should be really excited about it. But like I said, I haven't cried or laughed I am so numb, it's not funny. I do my work, try and grow my business, help out the companies when they need it, send them a bill. But I'm a robot.
Well,
see, this is sad, guys. I've been here. I've been right at this comment.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been right here. But let me just tell you that, somebody's got something on in the background because I keep hearing me.
Yeah, I hear there's some interference. I'm hearing.
Somebody needs to shut off their YouTube or their YouTube. When you're on the screen, you can shut off your YouTube.
I don't have YouTube on. I've only got the heater on because it's about 3 degrees, but I can turn it off.
No, it's not the heater, and now it's done. I don't hear it anymore. Well, yeah, I guess I do. All right, I'll just talk lower. This is a sad thing but here's the thing. When I felt this way, I had lost 3 people. I had lost my dad, I lost Jen, and then I lost my cat. And right before I found out that I actually have Lyme disease. It was so hard to even get in the shower. That's why I stopped dyeing my hair. It hurt me to hold my hands up to just dye my hair. That's how bad it was. So I know how that feels. You have to do something to get out of that funk. And just remember something. That was only 3 years ago for me, basically. And, I've been doing okay for the past 2 years. So, again, things change. Scenery changes.
Right.
True, yeah. True.
I totally get it, though. Just getting in the shower seems hard. But I've been through that. And then once I did it, I thought, well, that wasn't so bad. And now I feel a little bit better that I'm up. I have clean pajamas on because I lived in pajamas, And it did make me feel a little bit better. But did I do it the next day? No, probably not. It was another one of those things you have to talk yourself into getting up and doing things. And that's hard.
That's right. Yeah, it is very hard.
Yeah, well, who said that everything is negotiation? Somebody said that.
I said that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is for sure.
It really is. But that's see, I don't have a support network either, so that makes it a bit difficult. My parents are of the narcissistic category.
Oh,
So I just distance myself from them because they're toxic, they're not good. But they live 13 minutes from the hospital and they would never come and see me. I'd be at the hospital for 6 weeks and then I'd go off to rehab. They'd never come and see me.
Wow.
wow, that's not good.
It's like a constant letdown, like they're affluent, there's no reason, they're healthy enough to come in. Yeah, anyway, there's a lot of things influencing a lot of stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe the best thing is that you just keep your distance from them, but you have to still, there's got to be a support group in your area that you can reach out to.
Yeah,
You'll
I've just moved
never
to the mountains. Yeah, I've just moved to the mountains, so I'm going to look into all of that.
Where do you live?
I live in the mountains in Sydney.
Okay.
In Australia.
Yeah.
So I was in the city and it's too busy. I'm paying to be here for what purpose? Can't work here anymore. Everything was virtual for me. So I moved to where it snows and there's always sleet on the ground and I love it.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I've not been there. I've seen pictures and I love the mountains. I much prefer the mountains.
Always a bed for you and your partner, Toddie.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, but it'd just be for me and my dogs.
Okay, you and your dogs. Oh, Jackson has so much fun.
I appreciate that.
That's okay. He plays with the cat. He would love it.
Somebody wrote here, I've been depressed for 3 months before my dog passed away. I'm so sorry. Milo has Cushing's. And he's on medication. That's the medication Milo's on every day.
Wow.
So he lives a regular life. Thank God. He lives a regular life and he's not on the most expensive medication. So I'm grateful for that. But,
just over a year ago, I lost my dog. He was my world. He was my boy, everything. And he just didn't want his breakfast one morning. So I called the vet thinking they'd tell me to put him on a diet and make him lose some weight. But he ended up, they couldn't work it out for a couple of days and they thought it was pancreatitis, which developed into dog anemia. And he was gone within like 4 days. It was so quick. And I remember coming home from the vet. I remember him being put down and I remember watching the thing go in his vein and wishing it was me. All I wanted to do was go with him. And he was a rescue. And when I got home, I sat down and my phone rang and it was the rescue people that I had got Toby from 7 years before that. Because Toby was a high functioning, needed feeding and things like that, they had another high dependent dog.
Right.
And they had remembered me from all that time back. And they wanted to know if I wanted to take another one. And I said yes, thinking it's not going to replace Toby. And I'm devastated, but at least it gives me something to do.
Right.
So within a couple of hours, they brought Jax over and he had to feed every 2 hours. And, we've healed together.
Right.
But I thought it didn't replace Toby. I guess it just took the sting out of Toby.
Right. Well,
so
they're not meant to replace each other.
No,
it's just meant to keep us busy and keep us to remember.
Yeah.
That, so.
But losing a pet, that's awful. That I just, the pain. For that purpose, that the person that lost their pet, that's awful.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get that. Totally get that. I got to help Milo get his bone because, I think Danny's got both of those things that I gave them. Why won't you take it, buddy?
They steal each other's food.
You want this? You take it over. Come on, take it over.
That's like Jax. He'll eat the cat food.
Yeah.
If she's not eating it, he'll insist on finishing it. And I don't get why, but he lives on cat food and then I just dehydrate meat for him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my little dog doesn't eat dog food. She has to eat people food, and she's very particular about what she eats. So it's a pain in the butt, but we do it.
Yeah. But what I'm going to ask you to do, Glamis, when you don't speak, hit your mute button because the people in the audience are there. There's an echo.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Hey, Jay. It's just me, Rebecca, and whoever wants to come on. It's a recovery type. Got
Oh,
through the
Jay is here. Oh,
week. If you want to come on, Jay, you want to come up?
I'll leave you guys to it.
Okay, Glamis, thank you for coming up.
Pleasure.
And
Thank
it was
you for
happy
listening.
Monday.
really nice to meet you, and you're welcome to come up anytime you'd like.
Thank you. Thank you both. Take care. And Toddie, you are
Okay,
fantastic.
feel good.
You are
Feel
brilliant.
good.
Keep up the good fight.
Thank you so much. Milo, stop
Okay.
texting people.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Homicidal hamster said something. It's very painful when you love deep. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It definitely is. Yeah, Milo keeps losing his toy losing that bone thing to his sister.
Aw.
Well, but now it's like he's got his own thing. She keeps swapping up, She keeps taking, and then that, yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. Jay, did you want to come up? Anybody else want to come up? We're talking about, just getting through the week, how hard maybe things are, what we do to help us. What do you guys do when you don't want to get out of bed in the morning, when it's just freaking hard, man, when it's just tough, like I have to get out of bed because I got to take these dogs out for a walk. So that's really important. And that's one of the reasons why I think animals are important, because they're needed by you. And I mean, if anybody has any kind of heart, they're going to take care of their pets.
Right. Definitely.
Go up with their pets. And they are so worth it. 100%.
Definitely.
100% worth it. I think so too. Even Milo. Let me try to get him his thing.
Okay.
Then he's got both of them. You like these, huh? You got a winner chicken dinner? You like this, Bubba? Make your teeth sharp. There you go, Bubbaloo. Aye. So this was quiet. Anybody else got anything to say? Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Through the comments.
Yeah, somebody lost their daughter.
Sorry to hear that.
So we got a couple things about you, Rebecca. We got this one.
Oh, I seem a little withdrawn. I'm sorry about that. I had a little medical issue Saturday, and I just think I'm not 100% yet, but yeah, and I may be a little preoccupied with my move and things. So, but thanks for asking.
And then this one.
Why are you hesitant to share your journey? We would love to hear it.
Yep, she speaks for me.
I mean, you're safe here.
Right.
We'd love to hear what you have to say. I mean, if you want to come on, you don't have to show your face.
Yep, you're welcome to come on. Here's the stream. Here's the stream. We're only people. Nobody's going to pick on anybody or anything like that. No judgment here. That's
No,
right.
Definitely not.
My dogs come first too, homicidal hamster. Ask them. They'll tell you. Oh yeah, when my mom says she's got our back, she got our back. Right, Milo? Yeah, they're both chewing on this. Those bone things are lasting a minute, man. Let me tell you something. You don't have to show your face. Hey, you don't have to show your face.
No.
All you have to do, let me tell you what to do, La one. All you have to do is you got to click on the StreamYard. And before you get on, you want to cover the thing that has the cam, the start cam. You want to cover that. You just want to hit that. You want to shut that off. What's the matter? Glamis back up? You want to come back on, Glamis back up? What are you talking? What happened? I think I left. Toddie, can you boot me out if I'm still? But you're not here. I don't want to kick you out, and you're not here. Let me put this back up for La one. Absolutely. Somebody said, I have so much respect for anybody on this journey. Yeah, life is hard. You know, let me share this thing with you. So I was on this channel, Esoteric Atlanta. And she's got, you know, a yoga company, or what do they call the yoga places? She's got one of those places.
Yoga studio.
Yeah, yoga studio. And she said one of her friends said that we are all just souls. We're asked to be human now. We're asked to do human now.
Hmm.
She said it a lot better than I did, okay? But seriously, like it clicked. Like it's like, yeah, like this is our first time out, you know, and we're gonna make mistakes. We're just human now.
Well, I guess that makes sense, kind of.
Yeah, I just didn't say it as good as she says it. So she has IT problems, she said. Okay, well, if you want to try for next week, you know, maybe you could okay, so this says that the device is not connected. Yeah, so I can't even let you on, Lala. I can't even click on it. They will need to connect their mic. You can connect your mic and camera before you come on, but just shut your camera off. Because that's what it's saying, is that you haven't done that. But I sucked at this last night. It took me forever to do it. I thought it was deep too. I wish I could say it better. Something like, we are souls, but we're asked to human right now. It made sense, you know? Or maybe we're spirits and we're asked to human right now. I don't know. Hey, buddy. That's kind of rude to do that when mommy's got a live going on. You didn't even cover your mouth. Didn't even cover your mouth, boy. It's my son. Yeah, I could clearly see that this is a channel that is filled with love for the pets here.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely. Yep. People are saying you look tired. Be nice. She might have had plenty of sleep. That's
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I stay like this. This is how I look. It doesn't change no matter how much sleep. I've unfortunately aged a bit. And I'm not doing anything to prevent it. So it's probably going to get worse.
No. You're a little low key this week, but I'm a little low key this week. And
yeah,
you don't always have to be on, man. We're people. We're people.
Yeah, I got a lot going on, like I said, and you know, plus I'm having a bit of a health issue, and you know, just a little off. That's all. It'll pass.
Yep.
And I am a little tired. I don't sleep much, so you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. April 14th, 2025, complications type 1 diabetes.
Well, Sorry to hear that.
Does anybody want to come on and share? Really thirsty. I'm going to the doctor's on the 4th. And check me for diabetes.
Yeah. Did
Well,
you
I'm
have
really-
blood work already, or you're going to have blood work and all
I
that?
think that I'm just going to be checked for it because, like, I'm really tired and I know that I have Lyme, but I can't blame everything on Lyme. And could be something else going on. I'm drinking a lot,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thirsty. So, and I've never been this heavy. I mean, I'm not like heavy, but I'm heavy for me. You know what I mean? I'm only 5'2".
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Lala. So you got to shut off your camera. I don't want to put you on. There's a button that says stop cam. You see it? It says stop cam. Yep, that might be it. Let me see. Nope, I don't know. I think you got yourself off. What made them test me for Lyme? They thought that I had a mini stroke. I didn't even know that they were testing me for Lyme.
Wow.
They thought that I had a mini stroke. And when I got home from the hospital 4 days later, they said to me, they called me, forget all the medication we gave you. You didn't have a mini stroke. You have Lyme. Oh, thank you.
Wow.
All right. So, Lala, I think that we can't see you anymore. So that's good. But now you're gone again. Wait a minute. Nope, here you are. I'm going to put you on. I don't know if we could hear you. Can you try to talk to us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, guys. Hi,
Hi,
Rebecca.
welcome.
Hi,
Welcome.
thank you. First time on the live. Rebecca, I'm from Pennsylvania, not very far. And I have had a nightmare for the last almost 9 years. My ex was a detective on the Vice Squad in the Philadelphia Police Department.
Can you get a little bit closer to your microphone?
Sure.
Please? I'm sorry.
My ex was a detective on the police department. And he was a bad cop, a very, very bad cop. My eldest daughter, no matter what he did, she never saw fault. I've raised 7 children, and I had 3 biological. Anyway, my eldest daughter had a disease. It was a bleeding disorder, but it was controlled, and she was a great mom. And then all of a sudden, she wasn't. Her and him became partners in crime. He was fired from the police department because of abuse, which he did to me when I was married. But when you're fighting a police department, and P.S., my dad was a detective, and none of this ever happened in my home. But it was so hard because I had 3 kids who I was trying to protect. And anyway, fast forward, he and my daughter started doing heroin together.
Wow.
He died in front of my daughter, and my daughter has been missing for 8.5 years.
Oh my goodness.
My husband and I raised the 4 kids, and their dad came to stay with us to get on his feet. So he did, and the kids are doing great, but they still don't have a mother, and I still don't have a daughter, and it's like she vanished. And she's my eldest, and her brother and her sister and the kids, like she's missed. And today's the anniversary of my mom's death. My mom was her godmother, and they were so close. And when my mom died, I tried the best. She's in Kensington, so I tried so hard. She didn't come. I was even willing to have her come and just come to see my mom before the family arrived,
Right.
but she wouldn't. So I there's no ending here. Like, I have no solace, or not, like, I haven't, you just don't know where they go, where she is or whatever. And the kids, their dad's great, but they don't have a mom,
Right.
and it's a whole different ball.
Do you have an open missing persons case, or no?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I've called the morgue 100 times because in the beginning of this, I knew where she was, but she didn't want to come home. You know, she didn't want to come. I know, in a way, I think the guilt that came with that, with her father's death, was so much on her. But it shouldn't have. Her kids were her life, and then they're not. You know, the baby was 3. The next son was 5. My granddaughter Maddie was 9, and Shane was 11.
Right. And this
And
has
she
been
had she
8
was
years now? 8 years, you
oh
said?
no, 8 years since we've heard from her, 10 years since she did it. So but she's you know, she was a teenage mom, and she thought about adoption, and then we decided no, and we all came together. And my daughter was 15 years old when she had her oldest child.
Right.
So she's 42 now, and well, she'll be 42 on June 23rd. And our circle's broken, you know,
Right.
and I know how you feel. It's just that you just want that closure, you know, or
Yeah.
something. At least if you have that, you know.
Right.
Um,
Like you have no idea, is she alive? You don't know.
no, no, and like someone will say, well, so my there's just there's no sign of life. Like once in a while you'll hear something, but you can't prove it. You know, you can't. So um, we go down there to like give water and socks and underwear and things like that. And
Oh,
I'm
to
always
Kensington?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Once
How often do you go? I'd love to join you and go with you.
once a month,
When are
once a
you
month.
going again? I really mean that. I would love to go if you'd like
Well,
company.
yeah, I would. Damon, do you know Damon Darling? Do you ever see him
No.
on Toddie? Do you know him? He does.
Darling?
Yeah, I know he's a comedian, but he also helps, you know, with people in need. You know, he'll go into a supermarket and pay the bill, like things like that. And
I
I've
know
been
the
talking.
name, but I can't picture him. I do know the name though.
He's on he has a channel on TikTok and on YouTube, but him and I have been chatting back and forth, and I think he may come in and want to, you know what I mean? So um but I would love to do that with you, Rebecca. Toddie, it's like walking zombies down there. Like now,
I talked about that earlier. I don't know if you were listening, but I
You
talked
gotta be
about it.
careful going down there.
well,
There's
no, the
there's a
train is
member in my group in Justice for Corey. Her and her church go on weekends and hand out things. And they go in a large group, and they do it, I guess, weekly as far as I know. But I reach out to her too before going and try to get with a bigger group of people. I wouldn't want
yeah.
to go by myself, obviously, but
No, no.
I would love to go. And you know you can meet somebody sometimes that's suffering, and you may have a connection with them, and that may be the connection they need to say, you know what, I want out of this. We could help somebody just by talking to them and showing them that we care. You never know, and
Right.
and you might run into someone. I don't know if you ask people if they've seen your daughter when you're there, but you never know. Somebody maybe
Oh
can.
yeah, yeah. We've gone down. You know, even my granddaughter. She's 21 now, and you know, she went and she didn't tell anyone. You know, but she did, and she went by herself. But you know, when their dad just wanted no communication with their mom, but there wasn't any way to do it because after the first couple of years, she was just gone. You know,
Right.
like
And,
and
she obviously doesn't want to be found, or you probably would have heard from her, or somebody would have. And that's hard when they don't want to be found, because there's no crime in not wanting to be found and not communicating. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do if they don't want
you're
us
right.
in their lives. She's probably embarrassed. Honestly,
She's
the drugs turn them into somebody that they're not. It's unfortunate, but in
I
her,
have yeah.
she's just worried about how she's going to get her next fix, or she's going to be sick. And that's what they go through daily. This other stuff isn't, at the top of their list, unfortunately, when they're in active addiction.
You know, I'm a nurse. I'm a retired nurse and a teacher. And I spent an entire summer. She had an infection in her spinal cord, and I spent an entire summer in the Jefferson Hospital with her. And she was in a wheelchair, and she left. She got on the L in a wheelchair, God knows how, and I had to go over to a different hospital that day. And when I came back, she was gone,
Wow.
and that was the end. You know, she was taking the Suboxone, and it just was so upsetting because she never even would take an aspirin. And as young as she was a great mother, you know. But this is how it goes. And it's so I relate to many things that you've said, Rebecca. And even like with like there's just a cloud over our broken circle, you know, till we know what really happened.
Right. There's no closure, and it's always, you know, you have like, I don't know how to explain it other than having, you know, you're waiting. That's what I
Yes.
used to say. You don't know what you're waiting for, but you're waiting. And it's hard. You don't know, you know, for you, is she alive? Is she dead? Is she out there and doesn't want to, you don't know. And you
Yeah,
almost wish you would get that confirmation. And as bad as that sounds, at least you would know.
that's exactly correct. That's right.
It's hard. You know, I used to sit up at night, and if I didn't hear from Gino, you know, I would worry. And then
Yeah.
when I did hear from him, I was worried. And, you know,
You know, yeah, you know, because they call you and there's like she in the beginning would start screaming. I lost my phone and I didn't understand the entire, and I should have, right? I have a dad who was on a 5 squad, and my two brothers were with the probation, and my eldest brother's a judge. So I should have known that but she'd play on my emotions and my heart, and I would send money. 2 days later, lost my, oh, how are you calling me? Whose phone? It's the same number. Like, and she wanted me to feed her habit, you know, the money I was giving her. And she, in the beginning, there was this guy, we weren't um, uh, emotionally, like they were friends, let's say. And he ended up half dead, and they finally brought him back in the hospital 20 some days, and he went back to his mom in Florida. And now, you know, I have no idea. Uh, she was with this place called Prevention Point down there. You know, they give out the clean needles and do all that. You know, but
right.
she, you know, she kept saying, "I'm going to get a house. I'm going to get a house." What do you mean? Like you had a house, you had a whole
Right.
family, and you know, where are you getting a house? In Kensington? That's not good. You know,
Right.
because so that's where we were at the end. But
Are you
you
sure
know,
she's still in that area? What makes you think she's still there?
because I guess I think she's still there because she was there for so long, to the best of my knowledge. And, you know, I think in her heart, like she just feels like embarrassed and sad, and I can't get back what I had. But she blamed me. And I don't know if you've ever been on the reciprocal end of an addict,
Yep.
which means she never accepted what she did. And it's everyone else's fault but hers, and that's her mindset. And I stole her kids. I didn't. You know where we live. You grew up here, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And then it was, why'd you take Jack? Well, that was her husband, and he needed to be with his children, and he wanted to be, and he had to get on his feet. They lost everything, you know.
Right. Right.
But I have a story. She speedballed. I don't know if Gino did that. She takes the heroin and mess in the needle. So she was out of her mind. And my youngest daughter had her baby, and she came. She heard this with her father. This is prior to her father's death. He she had have he walked out of the waiting room, and she beat the hell out of me. She broke my arm. She knocked my teeth out. She you
Goodness.
can't. I mean, I can't. The hatred that was just coming out, you know. And I guess I can tell you that that was like one of the, and I forgave her for that you know what I mean? And then I went and stayed with her. And there's so many things coming into my head. I should have put an outline. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No,
That's all.
no, that's fine. You're fine.
Don't do that, Michael. Yeah, no, that my dogs are barking because they're mowing, and that's what's going on. So I'm shutting my
Toddie,
mic off so that it's not interrupting.
I have 8 miniature Aussies. I was a breeder of miniature Australian Shepherds and Aussie Doodles, and these are the ones that I have now are just like the end of it. I stopped doing it a couple years ago, so I know how when dogs bark, I'm nervous sitting here because when they start, they all like sing together almost. Like it sounds like a choir when they start barking.
Yeah, that's the way it is. But the guy's gonna come from behind, and the dogs they're just waiting now to go nuts. But
yeah, I know.
I'll shut my mic off because it's really loud, as you can hear.
I'm good. I'm used to it. So Rebecca, I know that you've also lost your grandson, and I know this. I feel your pain. I see it on your face, and people tell us, you don't look good, or well, no, I'm not. Maybe some days I'm just not handling it right.
Yeah, it's tough. You don't ever get over something. It's one thing to lose someone to an illness, or God forbid they get hit by a car or something. But in the way, in the way my grandson was taken out, you don't get over that.
No.
And losing my son just after that was another whammy. So, yeah, it's been a lot, and you never get over it. You don't. You just wake up in the morning and do what you got to do, and
that's right.
That's it.
That's I mean, it's some days it's even hard. It's even harder. But you do get up in the morning and you do go on because you have other kids that are looking at you and saying, what's wrong? They're going on. Her kids are moving forward, and they had to. They could have stayed stuck, but they didn't.
And I find, I don't know if you go through this, but like Gino's friends, for instance, it's like when I see them going on with life and they're not talking about him or remembering certain, special occasions, I get so mad. I'm how dare they, but I get it. Life goes on for them.
Well, they're young, and they have to, they have to move forward. And we never know. Like, I grew up in a very racially tense area in South Philadelphia, and one of my dearest friends was shot when he was 15, and I dealt with that murder like as a very young. I was 14, he was 15, and it was just horrible, right? But now it's a whole different kind of pain, with your children, So I mean, I just wanted you to know that I do listen, and I have 2 very good friends, and one lost their only child, her son, and the other one just lost their only daughter. And it's outrageous what's going on. And listen, all of us have taken a pill for something, right? But and I just would like to say this, Toddie, I had neck surgery, and they put me on oxycodone 10 milligrams 3 times a day, and I didn't know that it was affecting me like other people saw. I just didn't think it was, So my doctor retired, and I had to go to a different doctor. And he's like, no, you can't be on these anymore. And I didn't want to go on Suboxone. So I did it by myself. I did it with like vitamins and like you can't believe. And I guess the grace of God, because I was waiting for a seizure or to I thought I would be on the streets, maybe. I didn't know.
Wow.
But
Yeah, so a few people have said this. Somebody put something up in the comments. So Suboxone, I don't think there's anything wrong with Suboxone. I know that it has helped a lot of people get off of pain.
Oh, it has.
Meds.
Yeah.
I think that, listen, I think it's your body would feel something even if you took 3 pills a day. for a certain amount of time, and that's all you took. But when the people are getting on Suboxone, they're not taking 3 pills a day. They're taking double digits, and so their withdrawal is much, much more severe. And
I agree.
It's just you just got to be really careful. Just really, really careful.
You do, and you're right. I just I have family members who are on Suboxone, and it works great, and it doesn't want them to take something more. I need to say, but I didn't want to go that route because, and listen, I don't have any ill will towards anyone.
So I just want to say, hang on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Please do not buy your drugs on the street, people. Please, please, please do not buy your drugs on the street, people.
There's fentanyl in everything.
They are, and
I've heard about kratom. I've heard about kratom, and I've heard mixed reviews on kratom. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lala. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that there's a channel that you can watch, and you can actually see what's going on down there. And when they take the trank, they can't even stand upright. They're all bent in half. It's just, you can't imagine how you could stand like that for a few minutes,
No,
But
that's what you see all over Kensington and parts of Newark. Same thing. And people that are so used to it, they just walk by and don't even think anything, about it.
Well, they just become immune to what's happening. But they did this big cleanup last summer. I don't know if anyone you remember that, Rebecca? The new mayor came in, and that lasted like 2 months.
Yeah, you know what? You can clean it up all you want. Where do you take the people? You give them no options.
Yeah,
you just don't want them there. So where did you fix it? I get so upset about this because people treat them like they're, nobodies. And, I always say that's somebody's daughter, son, mother, father, sister.
That's right.
Like, that can be an attorney, a doctor, or their kids.
You see them and you say, what's their history?
Discriminate, Yeah,
that's true.
Hang on one second. Guys, there's this person in the chat who's trying to find out about this, and somebody just said that they were on it. Can you reach out to this person and help them? They're asking about their daughter.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm just reading the chat too. Because somebody just talked about being on this, and she just said, I haven't moved yet, guys. Go ahead, guys. Rebecca and Lala, continue. I just needed to ask that. I thought that was an important thing.
No, definitely. But, like I was saying, or you were saying, the mayor cleans up, but he doesn't have a solution. Okay, we're going to clean up and move their tents and their belongings but where did you put them?
They're throwing those people out in other states. I don't know what they're doing in.
You moved them from where you could see them. You moved them
they're
out.
Destroying their stuff. They're actually destroying their stuff. I've seen them destroy their stuff. I've seen on videos and on the news where they've actually taken these homeless shelters and went by in with like not cranes, but those scoop bucket,
like the backhoe or whatever.
And fucking just takes these. It looks like garbage, but it's people's belongings. I mean,
that's all they have.
That's all they have. Yeah. That's all they have. And we can't find a better way. We have all of these unoccupied buildings that are sitting here. And no, we can't treat Americans with decency. No, we'll just take all their shit and make them feel worse. That boils my blood, man. It boils my blood.
Mine too.
Mine too. For it. There are so many vacant buildings. And I don't care. Put 4 people in a room. Give them shelter. Give them a chance. We would be a better country if we would give people more of a chance.
Yeah, we don't take care of our own, but we're so willing to help others. And I think a lot of people's answer to helping the addiction population is, oh, they don't want it. They want to be like that. Well,
No,
you
they
know what?
don't.
Maybe some of them choose this, but maybe we should get to the root of the problem.
Nobody chooses. No, I disagree. Listen,
I mean,
somebody's living like that. They've gotten beyond choice, right?
well, that's what I mean. They're at this point, it's all they know. Get to the root of the problem. Give them, give them help.
And if people don't understand addiction, which I didn't, and I'm going to tell you the truth, I didn't understand that it would take her this far. I thought, okay, she was so young, and maybe she's just going to sow her oats. I knew when she hooked up with her father, it wasn't going to be good, But I can't blame him. He's gone, and she, the tents. I went to Tent City when they told them they had to get all the tents removed. That is all they had, the backpacks that are on their back.
Right.
If you look at them, they all have a backpack. And by the way, I didn't say this. I did take her to a couple of rehabs, and she went because her friends were there, and then they left together. But
Right.
the friends that she grew up with, no one's heard from her. She doesn't have those friends anymore because of her lifestyle,
Right.
And I do have an undercover guy who did find her, but she didn't want to be found after that, And they get in trouble with the law, and they're running from it. They don't want to face what there's so many little things that go with who they became and how they got there.
Right.
Their stories. And just to say, Rebecca, and I think that there should be an awareness for people to see the end results, even though, younger kids, things like that, they have to see what happens to if you continue on that path.
Right.
I think prevention, right?
Right.
They
I know
always say-
here in New Jersey, I don't know if it's all over, but we had what they called the DARE program where, some police officers would go into the schools. I don't know if they still do it. And if they do, maybe it needs to be more often than.
I don't know either. I have 2 grandchildren in the school district, and they're in 5th and 4th grade now. They've talked about not to, things like drugs, but I don't know the DARE program is in existence anymore, and it should be. You're right. Yeah, and it should be.
Right. I think we should do more for anyone living in the streets suffering from whatever it may be, whether it be mental illness, addiction. Everybody deserves help, and for people to think that they just want to be that way. I mean, that's not true, and we need to get to the root of each person's problem because everybody's different. And one person can't do this. You and I can go down there every weekend.
Right. You're right.
And you know what? We might be able to help somebody. And if we did help one person, that would make me feel great. If we could get to that one person that says, yeah, I want help. I don't know what to do. I have nobody. And we could drive them to a detox and they got into a program. Wouldn't that be great? But you know what happens? A lot of these people have no insurance because they don't have an address.
Mug you on the way, so you got to be careful who you're putting in your car, ladies.
Oh, Toddie, ain't nobody me. I've learned a lot over these last few years, and I dare somebody to try to mug me. That'd be their last mugging. I'm not going to do that. But they have no ID, they have no insurance card, so you can't get into treatment without these things. So and I'm not making excuses for anyone out there on the street, but it's the truth. They can't get help if they don't have an ID, and it's just.
And some of them have other people's IDs.
Right.
And I've seen that as well. And
I mean, it's just hard. It's not easy for them. We don't make it easy. And, so what does someone who has an addiction problem do? Well, I can't fix this today, so let me just get high. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I mean,
it's a terrible, it seems like a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
And it needs to be addressed because it's an epidemic proportion. And what parent wants to see their child laying on a sidewalk, a cement sidewalk in a puddle. Like they're out of it, completely out of it, and they like that feeling. And even when you speak to them, they'll say, "No, I don't want to think about anything, and that's why I do this." But
Right.
that's, it's hard to bring them to that level where they accept it and they want the help. And a lot of them go in and just make it 48 hours and they're out. They just
Yeah.
walk out. And when
I
they're
don't know
adults,
about you, but I used to have such guilt when Gino was homeless from time to time, and he would
Right.
call me and say, "Mom, I'm freezing," and
oh yeah,
nobody would let him stay with them because of the situation, and I would feel so guilty being in a warm house, and with food, and he was starving, and there were
yeah,
he would say, "I'm not asking you for money. Can you just order me something to eat and I'll go pick it up?" And I would do that. And, oh,
yeah,
well, that's enabling. I'm like, well, then I'm an enabler, I guess. I just couldn't see him hungry or whatever. And with my situation, my ex-husband lived in the area where Gino was homeless, and he would see him and just step right over him. Like Gino would be sitting on the ground outside of a Wawa to charge his cell phone.
right.
And my husband would walk by, ex-husband, and just look at him like he was dirt on his shoe.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah.
even talk to him. And that killed me. That was hard to deal with.
You see it even down there. They're right by the Elm. People have to get on it to go to work, and they were on the steps at Kensington and Allegheny, and they walk over them like they're not there.
Yep.
Like,
They don't see them.
Yeah, no, they don't. And that's terrifying to think, that they are someone's child. They are someone's sister, brother, mother. We have to remember that. And how they got here, we don't know. But it's now trying to get them out of where
I
they are.
guarantee you they got there from pain, whether it be physical or emotional or mental. That's what
Right.
caused them to get there. That's the
And
thing.
you're right. And I think that when the doctors are there and they're watching them and they're managing like if you have a good primary, he's managing what you're doing. But they don't understand, like when that doctor says I'm done, then you're done. And now what? And you have people scurrying around like freaking out because they don't, and what's the next cheapest thing? It was heroin. And God forbid, people don't understand that, how they skip, like went from taking pills to heroin. But I do, and I've seen it. And
Yeah.
I've seen what happens, but it's so sad. It's so sad and so upsetting. And I just wanted to step up and say, I was afraid. I've been waiting. Yes, sorry. I just I hid from the dogs. They all started barking. I'm sorry about that. But I went upstairs. But I just, my heart's with you. I know what it's like, and maybe we can connect on some level. Because my friends and I have talked about this, but some people just don't want to. Some moms just don't want to bring it to the forefront. They
Yeah.
just keep it to themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I think if we speak out and we help each other, I think we could do a lot of good.
Well,
Right.
that's what this channel was about. That's what Rebecca saw for the future of this channel. And it seems
Yeah.
like you guys are getting more and more comfortable and trusting. And I think that's awesome. And I see that we get a lot of regular people that come every Monday.
Yeah,
And
I've been on here, Toddie, since Rebecca started to come on, and
cool.
I was nervous. I didn't want to. He would think I would be okay after being a teacher for all those years, but I'm not. Like this breaks me to my core. What's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
tough. It's tough to look at.
But
yeah,
absolutely no shame or anything in it. I mean, we're all just human trying to figure it out. That's the truth.
I think as a parent, I've heard this, Rebecca, and I don't know if you ever have, and they would say, well, you need to reflect on yourself as a parent. How did they get that way?
Right.
And I
I've
think to
heard that.
myself, how did you? how did they get that way? What do you think? I fed it to them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get so angry at
I know.
people.
I
And
know.
yes, you know, I was a single mom for a long time, and I did remarry, and I have a wonderful husband who has been through a lot of this with me, a lot of it, no judgment. But he, you know, he pulled back and said, I'm afraid of you finding her or being with her. I don't know what will happen, you know, like because of, I told you that she did do that to me in a hospital, in a waiting
Right.
room, in a hospital that I worked in for years. She waited for everyone to leave, and to this day, I haven't gotten over what I didn't understand. I didn't think she could ever be that vicious, you know, but
Mm.
she can be. And drugs will change our children to a
Yeah,
person we don't even
that's it.
recognize. Yeah. So I just wanted to share, and I'm sorry if I talk too much.
No, it was good. You're
Oh,
welcomed
great.
up anytime. Anytime.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I'm going to have Toddie put up my email address if you want to reach out when you're going into Kensington again. I'd love to join you and
yeah,
help some
and I'll make
people, pass
sure,
out some things to some, people.
and I'll make sure some people, you know, that we have others with us, not just you and I.
Oh,
I
no,
understand.
I wouldn't do
Yeah.
it alone, but no,
No.
definitely.
No.
I'd really
Yeah.
love to do that.
Yeah. And you know, there's so many. Thank you, Rebecca. I see it, Toddie. Thank you, Rebecca
You're welcome.
McMurtry. Okay, I see it. Um, I don't think that people who haven't been affected, but then again, I think most people have, but to this extent, I don't think they really understand the pain
No.
that we have inside. Like they almost frown upon us. I don't know if you've ever felt that way, but I have.
Oh, yeah,
And
most definitely. And, until you're in the situation, you'll never know how we feel if you're not dealing with it. And,
Yeah.
it's so people judge and say nasty things and,
yeah, and then it affects, like I have so many stories, not just from me, but from my friends who were affected. And it's just, and I don't know where in Jersey you do, but like my son's over, like a lot of my friends and my son's over in Jersey. Um, but we just had an incident. One of my dearest friends from like second grade, her son, would be violent on these drugs, you know, and he went to prison in Jersey and got out.
Wow.
And he got back on drugs and he had a tattoo he wanted off. And I'm going to say something, Toddie. I don't know. Can I say this on here?
Yeah, say it quick and with a
Okay.
little bit of an accent.
Okay. I should have an Irish brogue, but I don't have that on today. He wanted a tattoo removed at 10 o'clock at night and demanded that she pay him $300 to have it done. And she didn't have it. He beat her with a baseball bat and he killed her in
Oh
front
my
of
God.
her
Okay.
granddaughter. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
done. But this just was a year ago.
I
And,
thought he was going to remove his own tattoo. I was worried about that, to be honest with you.
no, I mean, and there she is. Like she was raising her granddaughter, not, you know, and her grandson, that was his son. The mom was also an addict. And she just took care of everyone. And what a loss. And now he's in prison for the rest of his life, and her granddaughter and her daughter have to go on, you know. And it was just, it's vicious, it's violent what's happening, and it's not just people laying on the street, it's what they'll do to get those drugs, you know.
Yeah.
And there's just, and people, ugh, it's such a long laundry list of things, but we have to I would like to deal with it and I think, Toddie, I commend you for having a safe place to talk about this.
This was Rebecca's idea.
Rebecca, I know, but you gave her the right. She gave you the microphone.
She opened the door. She opened
That's
the
right.
door. So, and she didn't have to. And I'm so grateful that she did because I think this is a good thing.
I
for a
think it's
lot
a
of
good
people.
thing. I think it's a good thing too. Obviously, I think
And,
it's a good
I know we get off topic sometimes, but we seem to get back on, before the end of the show. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I did. I'm sorry if I brought you off topic. I know you guys.
No. You got a lot of people that are praying for your daughter.
Yes.
in the chat.
Thank you. And there's even a point where you doubt your faith in all of this. I don't, I'm a Catholic and I raised my kids and I had a fear, a God fearing way about me. I always did. And but the kids, once they get to that point, they don't fear anything, and I think they really want to leave. They want to die. They want to be out of their pain. The people that I've spoken to, they need to see there's something to live for. But when they're in that rut, they don't see it. They don't see beyond it. I look at them and I think, God, it's the weather's nice. We always went down the shore. My kids, we have a house there. They went down for the summer. As a kid, I did as well. That was something we did, to get kids off the street. But I see the kids and I see the people and the older people, younger people, and all new people are back down there. And you're like, dear God, like, what's the end result? And we all know it if they don't get help. But some of them don't want to. And they're scared. And they're scared of what it's going to feel like. But once you get past that, it opens up your life to whatever you want.
Gino used to tell me he didn't want to go through withdrawal because it's worse than death, he would tell me. And I couldn't argue with him because I don't know what it feels like. They don't want to be sick. And,
and they have to be off it so many days before they get on the Suboxone. So they're going through the cramps, the leg kicks, all of that physical pain from withdrawal.
Yeah, it's hard.
And
it's hard.
Yeah, and they're afraid of it. And I think that people don't realize how hard it is. And now, with 3 different drugs being mixed, it's they're lucky that they stand upright again after they're done.
Right. I know, we just touched on religion or faith, and I just started talking to God again. I was pissed off for many years because I thought, how can you take my grandson, And so I would yell, like, you're not even real. God's not real. It's a friggin' joke. I mean, I was angry. And I would tell the best Catholics that, like, it's a crock of shit. It's not real. There's no heaven. There's no, because I thought if there was a God, why did he take my 6-year-old grandson? Yeah. And, you hear that, well, he had a different plan for him. And me thinking, well, he could have taken some other kid. He didn't have to take Corey, or it's just, it's hard. And I just started to really believe again. And, but sometimes I do get mad and I curse God. I'm not embarrassed to say it. I do.
That's normal, I think, don't you? I mean, what are we supposed to feel?
Right. I've had enough. How much more do you think I can handle? Because I hear all the time, God only gives you what you can handle. Well, he misjudged me then because I'm about done. I can't take anymore, and it's just, that's when I start to get angry again. Like, all right, enough already.
Yeah. And I think that, I think when my mom passed, I mean, people say your mom's she was my best friend and she had 2 sisters and I did a lot with them, and it was such a void. But my mom would say, Marian, just pray for her. My mother had such strong faith, and I did at one point and I lost it.
Right.
And my best friend, she'd say to me, when were you at confession? No. Like I don't know what I need, but it's not that, and she's been wonderful and continues to pray. But I lost my way and I'm finding my way back as well.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm telling you, I would literally curse God out loud and people would look at me and think I probably needed an exorcism or something. But I was truly pissed off. I thought, he's the man with all the power. Why did he do this to me? Why did he, you just don't understand it.
No, we don't, but we do know that there's free will, right? And I think that sometimes, like, it's not that easy to say that, but I guess with God, it's a whole different book. Everybody has their own relationship with God,
right?
And how they think things should go. But I know what it feels like to be angry at him. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's just, because that leaves a void when you have nowhere to, talk this through, and there are people that have gone through something similar.
Yeah.
It just helps. It helps each of us move forward, little baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Got a lot of people that are mad at God right now.
Yeah, I get it. I was pissed off, and I said it often. And I would say, you know what, God, I'm going to go to hell for cursing you. I'm already in hell. I mean, I would have full-on conversations with God
I
out
get
loud.
it. I get it.
Well, I'm a believer of God, and I mean, I'm not trying to tell you how you live your life, and I know you can't see me right now, but I smiled when you said that you were talking to God again. That made me feel good for you, because I haven't had the loss that you've had. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? So
it's just
I haven't had that, but I know that God doesn't answer all of our questions, and that sometimes we might feel alone and such, but the thing is, if we don't have faith and hope, we don't have faith that things can get better and that there's something beyond this, then what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
No, and that's what I started telling myself. I have to believe that there's a better place when we're gone, or I'm going to go crazy here.
I think there is, and I think it's going to be like a state. It becomes like, to me, it's like a state of mind or peace, and that's something that I don't know if I'll ever feel again. Peace,
Right?
inside. And I hope there comes a time when I do. But
I can. My experience with my son Gino, before he passed from fentanyl, I would worry day and night. Prior to his death, the worry was a lot less because he had been clean for 2 years and was doing great. But I said to my daughter, and I don't know if it came out the right way, and I said, well, at least I don't have to worry anymore, because he was gone. And it sounded horrible as I said it. And I didn't mean like I wasn't happy he was gone. I just meant that now I don't have to worry. He's safe now.
Right.
Yeah, how many the sleepless nights sitting up worrying, thinking, where are they? When it snows, when it rains, like, I think of her all the time. But then, I know what happened when I did see her and what she did, but she's still my daughter. And I excused it and said, well, it was the drugs. It had to be. She was never this way, and I still believe that, but God knows, what she's up to, or where, like my youngest daughter says, they get into prostitution down there. And I don't want to even think that. I don't know. I can't, but she has an education. She was a nurse, and I'm sure she's lost that license or not renewed it, but it's sad. It's so sad.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's scary for each of us. But I thank you for letting me up here.
Oh man, anytime. You're welcome to come anytime, and thank you for trusting us. And it takes a lot to trust us. I know Rebecca's easy to trust. It's me that's the problem, but I mean,
no, you're not. You're not.
I'm teasing. I'm glad
I watched you before any of this happened, and there comes from being in your lives or watching your videos. You gain trust. You gain trust by watching the way you handle things, and I thank you for that, for giving us a platform to speak.
Well, again, that was Rebecca's idea, but thank you so much.
Okay. No, I know.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really do. And, and what this does is it lets people know that it is a safe place. They're going to have my back up here. They're going to let me speak. I'm not going to be censored, and you got a lot of love from the chat. And I do believe in God, and I do believe in the power of prayer. So I really pray that your daughter finds her way back to you.
I do too.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. And Toddie, what do I do? Just press the X to go out?
I'll kick you out, lady.
All right, all right. Kick me out. That's good. All right. All
Okay.
right. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Rebecca, I'm ready to go to sleep.
Okay, I figured that. It's been a long morning.
Yeah, and I'm crying too. So see what
Yeah.
you do.
It was a good show, though. It was good.
Well, generally speaking, I see this about your dog.
Aw.
All right, guys, I'm getting ready to go just because I'm starting to get a headache from being tired.
Yeah, that's not good.
I wanted to, as always, let me come back on here. I wanted to thank you. And yeah, I'm crying too. That's not funny, but so next Monday, we're gonna do the other thing soon. I haven't gotten anything from you. Did you send me something?
I spoke with Tiffany, one of Jay's associates, and I haven't written to Chris. I'm going to hold out a little bit longer on him. Okay. I want to make him sweat a little bit, but I'm going to get my letter ready soon for him, and then we'll also talk about Corey's Law, or what we're calling Corey's Law. It's not been named that yet. There's a bill. It's not Corey's Law yet, but we're hoping. So I'm going to get all that prepared, and then we'll go on, with you and with Jay, and we'll make it a date.
Absolutely. I'm excited to hear about Corey's Law, or what you hope to be Corey's Law.
Yeah. It's, one of the prosecutors who tried Corey's case actually worked with one of the state senators to create her idea of this law. It's not named Corey's Law yet. We're going to hope that they do. And she had a lot of good things that maybe we didn't think of, so we're hoping that we can all just put these things in together and make sure this doesn't happen again to another child and family, because it's hell and it shouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm working on it.
That's great.
And,
great. I love
I
that.
can't wait to talk to you guys about it. And thanks again for allowing me to come on here and ramble and talk shit with everybody.
I love when you come on. I look forward to this. I keep telling you, I look forward to this.
You make my week. I know that I have Mondays, no matter what. I start Friday. I'm like, it's almost Monday. I'm not even kidding you. You helped me so much with.
Well, I think it's clear that you help a lot of people as well.
Yeah, that's the plan, to help even one person each show. If we give that one person a reason to wake up and come on next Monday, then we did our job.
Absolutely.
But thank you again, and have a good nap.
Okay, I will. I'm going to go to sleep. And
okay.
Guys in the chat, thank you guys. And I'm so glad that you guys are starting to come on the channel, because I think that it'll make you feel better. And you should, especially those people that are alone and there's nobody listening. Like, the most important thing I think that we could give each other in this world is showing each other that we matter.
Right.
That we matter. That we're not looked over, that we're not taken for granted, but that we actually matter to people. Right. That's so important.
Yep.
So anyway, on that note, I'm going to go to bed.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. I'll see you. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.